Hello, welcome to my channel. Today, I'll be guiding you through how to deploy Active Directory Domain Controller on Windows Server. So these are the steps we are going to cover during this session. Okay, so the first step is to install Windows Server. So Windows Server, but this time we are going to install Windows Server 2019. We're making use of Windows Server 2019. So once you open your browser, you go to Windows Server, the type Windows Server 2019 download, then you will see this. Okay, so we are downloading the ISO, the English version, 64-bit. So that's what we are downloading. So I have it pre-installed on my own system, so I don't need to install it. So now, if you want to install yours, you have to come here, then download this 64-bit edition. Okay, so the next thing is to add the Windows Server to our VMware. So Windows Server is the operating system that we use to activate, to deploy Active Directory. So you also need to download VMware. But by now, I believe you have the VMware. Okay, so for you to add the Windows Server on your VMware, you use this click a new virtual machine features on your VMware. So once you click it, you will leave this default settings. You move to the next one. Confirm I will install, check I will install the operating system later. Next it. Here, confirm. Make sure it check the Windows servers. Then select Windows Server 2019 among others. So once you select that, then next it. So it will give you the name. You can change it. So let me just change it. Server. Okay. Let me change it to my Active Directory. You can as well leave it, but I just want to change it for clarity's sake. Okay, that is that. So make sure you check store virtual disk as a single file. Next it, then you finish this up. So this will come up, but we are not done yet. So the next thing, once I've done this step, so the next thing is to click on this cd/dvd SATA. So once you select it, it will bring this to you. Then check use ISO image. Have to browse to the directory where you have your Windows server. Okay, so let me look for my Windows server. So this is my Windows server. So once you download it, you have this 1776 and the likes. So select it, you can double click, you can single click, then open. So once you do that, okay. So now we have added the ISO in our VMware. Without you doing this, your your Windows Server will not run on your virtual machine. So now that you have added it, let us start it. But be mindful when you're starting this Windows Server, you have to be fast. Okay, so I've powered it on. While this is going, capture this mouse and press any key on your system. Once you mix this step out, you have to close it and start again. Okay, what if your mouse is being captured? You just do Control Alt, then you see your mouse again. But I need to capture my mouse in order for me to continue. So I'll capture the mouse again. You can see to turn towards this white icon. So the next thing is just select this next. Just continue like this. Install now. Setup is starting. You have to wait for this setup to complete. Okay, so we are selecting the last option, Windows Server 2019 Data Center Evaluation. So we continue. The next thing is to accept the license terms. Continue. So we are using the second option, the custom install. So select it. Next, then we wait for the installation to complete. So the installation is done. So the system is starting. So we have to give it some minutes. Alright, so it's coming up. Okay, this might take a while depending on the capacity of your system. So, well, mine should be faster. So, okay, right. So it's up. So once the installation is completed, you are to get these features. So what next is you are going to set up a password. Be mindful, this password must contain capital letter, lower, lower, uppercase, lowercase, numbers. You don't need to, you cannot adjust the username. So the only thing you need to do is to set the password. So the password must contain uppercase, lowercase, and letter. So I'm setting my password. So if I'm finished, then I have my Windows Server. So this is what you are going to see on your system. So once it's up, then you click on this icon, and this is the Control Alt Delete we are going to use in order to get the login interface. So once you get the login interface, you put the password. Okay, so our Windows Server is up. So we are selecting no here. So the server manager will also start at button because this is just a fresh setup. You close this, try managing server, just close it. You can as well power stop this server manager from booting up. Alright, I know we don't like these features because the Windows Server is not so big. You can see after maximizing, I'm still getting these features. So what you can do is to install the VMware tools. So click on install under this VMware, install VMware tools. So once you install it, it will pop up here. You can also do this by going to the features under settings. So the tools is up. So settings, personalization, show your preference. Alright, so let us use the VMware tools. So our VMware tools is up, it's been downloaded. So you just click on this file explorer, then this is the VMware tools we downloaded. So once you click on it, you double click on this setup 64-bit. This 64-bit, double click. So this is popping up. Some action needs to be taken. Then once you click on that, next, complete, next, install. So once this thing finish installing, the Windows Server will restart again. So we wait for this to complete installation. You can see before even restarting, the Windows Server is enlarged. So I have to restart it again for the features to properly be implemented. Although mine was enlarged before restarting the system. Alright, so it's back. So don't forget, this is our Control Alt Delete. We are sending it to this system. So then we put in our password again. Now we have the big screen of our Windows Server. Okay, so now we have done step one. We have done step one and step two. We have done step one, install Windows Server. Step two is add the server to VMware. We have done that one. So the next thing is to change the computer name. So we are changing the computer name. Okay, so for us to do that, we click on this local server here. Alright, so that's the local server. So we want to change the what? The computer name. So for us to do that, we click on this work group. Once you click on it, the system property will open up. Click on change, then change the computer name. So my computer name, I can change it to video. So this is my computer name. This will also make the system to the Windows Server to restart. Okay, I've applied the name. Once you do that, just close this. Then restart now. Let me just do restart now so that we can see the full features of what we did. Alright, we are back on track. So we have to put in our password again. Okay, server manager is up. It's coming up. So don't forget you have to close this. So the server manager is still loading. Alright, okay. Now we have our computer name as what? As video. So we're moving to the next step, which is what? Assign static IP. The reason we are assigning static IP is because we are using Windows Server. Server cannot use a dynamic IP that is automatically assigned by DHCP. We have to assign what? A static IP address to our server. So this will let us know the IP address whenever we need it, instead of us getting new IP address frequently. So but before we do that, we need to confirm the IP address our server is using. So for us to do that, you use this, you click on the search icon on your Windows server, then type cmd. Cmd is the command prompt for Windows. So once you do that, then type the command ipconfig. So this is the IP address of my server. So this is the same IP address I'm going to assign statically. So now I've confirmed my IP address. So now I need to change to what? The Windows Server IP address. So this Ethernet 0, click on this blue icon, IP version 4 address assigned by DHCP. Like I've said, it's been assigned with an automatic IP address, but now I want to change it to static IP address. So once you click on it, then this means that the network connection wizard will open. So right click on the Ethernet 0 property. Though I like to uncheck my IP version 4, for you to uncheck it, just click on the box because it was checked before. Just click on the box, it will uncheck it. So we are changing this IP version 4. So for you to do that, just click here. Don't click on the box, click on the IP protocol version 4 itself. Once you click on it and you have this blue selection, then click on properties. Once you click on properties, use the following IP address. Then you will use the IP to assign the IP address you discovered from when we checked it. So my IP address is this. So I've just known the last two bits. So 64 and 114, 192, 168, 64, 114. So once you do this, you click on this to automatically assign the subnet mask. So but for the default gateway is here. I'm going to assign this default gateway. So this is 64.2, 192, 168, 64.2. So my preferred DNS would be Google. We are using 8888. So once we do that, then we click on OK, then we close it. Close this. If we refresh, this is the refresh icon. If you refresh, you can see this IP address. So now we have a static IP address on our Windows server. So the next thing now is to add roles and features. But because we have not yet deployed our AD, we only have our Windows server and did some settings. So if you click on first to do this, click on manage, add roles and features. So manage, add roles and features. If this is showing like mine, just drag it up, then you see the complete wizard. So once you select add roles and features, next it, these are still default, next it, you are not doing anything special here, next it. Okay, so now once you get to this place, you are going to select this Active Directory domain service. This is the features that we are going to that accept what host. You can read more on it. So Active Directory domain service store information about objects on the network and make this information available to users and network administrator. ADDS is also Active Directory domain service, uses domain controller to give network users access to permitted resources anywhere on the network through a single logon process. So this is the features we are adding, then we click on it. So once you click on it, you see this add roles and features wizard. The next thing is to just add it. Once you click on add, then next. This we are not selecting anything. We are going to next it. Next again. Here we are not checking anything. We are clicking on install. So we wait for it to complete installation. So you can grab your coffee or either tea, any liquid you want to take while we are waiting for our features to be installed. Okay, so the installation is completed. So once this line is being completed, so you see this, promote this server to a domain controller. You can see where my mouse is. So promote this server to a domain controller. You have to click on it. So once you click on it, here it says add a domain controller to an existing domain. So this we don't have an existing domain, so we cannot do this. It says add a new domain to an existing forest. None of these were set up before, but in case you have them, you go through that process. But for the purpose of this video, this is a new domain. So we are using this add a new forest. So I have to give it a name, root domain name. So I can just do tutorial.net. Though be mindful, this name should not be related to what shouldn't have a correspondence with the with your computer name. You can see my computer name is showing here video. So don't have the same name as what as your computer name. So there will be a conflict and it will affect your setup. So you have to give it a new name. So yeah, I'm setting my own tutorial.net. It can be anything. Tutorial.log, tutorial.local, anything. Just dot it with anything. Alright, so this is my root domain name. Then next it. So the deployment is ongoing. So now we are here. For this, we have to set up a password. But this particular password will be the same password of the Windows server. Remember, the password we set when we are installing the Windows server on our VMware. So you have to use the same password. So I'm using the same password. So once you put in your password, you next it. I don't have anything to do here again. Next, we wait for this to be done. Alright, so this is our NetBIOS domain name tutorial. Next it. I'm not doing anything here, just next. So this are our settings. You can just go through it. If you want to change anything, you can go back. So, but for this purpose, we're not making any changes. Next. Okay. So we passed update reset check passed successfully. Click install to begin installation. Then we install. Okay, so all checkup was being performed. So configuring the local network and the likes. So what is happening here is that all other requirements necessary for domain controller for Active Directory are being checked. So this won't take much of our time. Okay. Once this is done, the this operating system will restart. So now once it restarts, then once it's up, then you see that our AD our domain controller is up. We have our own Active Directory now. Okay. So it's still coming up. Okay. So our AD is up. We are using the same key. You can see tutorial slash administrator. So now we have our AD. We are going to log in. Okay, so the server manager is still coming up. Okay, so we have our ATDS, we have the DNS and the like. So under tools, you will see Active Directory Administrator Center, Active Directory Domain and Trust, Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell, and the likes. So if you want to set up user, you want to do organization unit. So once you click on tools, you set you click on Active Directory users and computer. So what you are going to do here is to create different groups based on roles. Like I've said, Active Directory is used to manage people in your organization. You create different users and give them permission based on their role in the organization. So now this is our domain tutorial.net. So if you use this drop down, so you see a lot of default organizational units. So this built-in is a default organizational unit. The computers is what is also a default organizational unit. So once we start adding computers to our Active Directory, we start seeing different computers. Yeah. Domain controller is also part of it, but we have a single domain controller. which is this. This video is our computer name and which is our domain controller. So the foreign security principal is also a default for managed services and the like. So we have users. So there are some default users here. So these are the default users. You start adding user, then you see more user here. Okay, so that is that for that. So we can also, okay, let us now create an organizational unit. So for you to create an organizational unit, just click on the domain itself, tutorial.net, right click, then new. Once you click on new organizational unit. So this organizational unit is just like a folder, just like let me say your department, just the name of your department. Let me call this one finance, finance department. So protect container from accidental deletion. This will protect you can't delete it. See if you want to delete it, you have to answer some questions before you can delete it. But if you uncheck this, you'll be able to delete it without a prompt. So now I've set up what I have a finance department. Now I can decide to create user here. So if you want to do that now, you right click on the finance department, new, then user. So who is the member of this company? So let me just say Johnny James, first name Johnny James. So this we have Johnny James in my department. Okay, user logon name. So this user logon name, how do I want this person to log in? What initials did I want to use? I can just say J Johnny, J James, J James. So each time the person wants to log in, let's say each time the person wants to log in on his system, you have to use this J James at tutorial.com. So this first J is the first letter of the first name and the last name is in full. Then next it. So I'll set up a password for that person. So I'll just set password. Okay. So user must change password at next logon. So this is a new member in my department, in the finance department. What I'm doing now is like I'm creating the user in his department. So whenever this person during onboarding process, you give the user the credentials. Oh, this is your username, then this is your password. Once the person successfully puts in the password, it will tell the user to change what to change his password. So user cannot change password. User must change password. This is not a good setting because this is a default password that I'm setting for him. Password never expire. Password must expire because this is the best practice. Account is disabled. You can only disable this person's account when once the person exits the company. Alright, so now I've set the password. Okay, let me finish it up. So now I have Johnny James in what in IT. So once Johnny James log in to once Johnny James log in, Johnny James computer will be here. So let us also have another person, another organizational unit, new organizational unit. So this time around, I'll call it IT department. The same process. So once you set it up, right click on the IT department, new user. So who is this IT? Brian Brain. So this is Brian Brain. So how is he logging in? B Brain. This is B Brain. the same process. Then what's the password? I have to set up a password for the person, a default password. This password is also, it must meet the complexity, must contain uppercase, lowercase, and number. Next it, next it. So I have these two departments in my AD. So, but now I don't have user yet. I don't have I don't have computer yet because these two people are yet to log in. So now any policy set here will not affect finance department. But if you set the policy here, you set this policy on this tutorial.net because that is the root domain. It will affect all the organizational units here. But if you set the policy on organizational unit itself, it will not affect others. Okay, so in our next tutorial, next video, I will teach you how to add another computer to Active Directory. Thank you and see you in my next video. Bye.